So guys, last night Nwoko came to say his own side of the story. As you all know that Nwoko and his wife has been having gbasgbos over how many weeks now, you understand? And you know in life, when something happen, you must always, hear from the two parties before you jump into conclusion, okay? So all this scenario where take place or all these things where we say they happen these days, we did not hear from Nwoko. Last night he decided to tweet to tell Regina and her family that no be all una sabi the tweet too. Now, according to what he posted, it's really lengthy, but I will take my time, to glance through everything or to make you abreast with everything he said. So, according to this report that he posted, he said these videos show Sammy, Regina's brother, repeatedly coming to my house and harassing my children and my domestic staff, especially whenever I was not around. His visits were often aggressive and disruptive. This is someone I sponsored through the last 2 years at the University of Ekpoma. Ekpoma is in Benin, that's Edo State. I bought his musical instrument, rented and furnished a flat for him in Abuja, in addition to the house I bought for Regina in Asaba before our marriage for the use of all of them. You see, and so see, apparently now it seems Sammy is a musician, so he bought some set of musical instrument for him, rented an apartment for him in Abuja, for him to start his own life proper. You understand? And he also added that he bought a house for Regina before their marriage, for all of them to stay. I also routinely provide allowances to all members of the family, including our mother, Rita Daniels. Indeed, in the last 2 years, I have a record of transferring 125 million to her account. You understand? That's Regina's mom. See, the total money where we say net saying send is about 125 million naira, and he has the receipts according to what he said. No be me talk am. Let's proceed. When Regina started her rehabilitation, there was a clear instruction by the doctor to strictly restrict people, especially her enablers, from having access to her. You understand? Now, what this means is that medical, professional advice net say make people when no Regina no come close to her, and that was the only remedy so that she can recover herself. Make people where she know no dey close to her. Okay, let's proceed. The therapy was arranged after I noticed troubling changes in her behavior linked to her dependency on certain illegal substance, including going for 48 hours without sleeping and eating every 2 hours. Unfortunately, Sammy, Destiny, some of their siblings, together with a few of her friends, notably Sonia, Uche, Montana, among others, constantly defied those instructions. He say dis names wey be say net dey call say na dem dey flout instruction wey be say the medical professional been give them, say make they no come near am, but they still dey flout the rules. So that's what he said. They will come into the house uninvited. When they no invite you for a place, no dey go. See, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes forcing their way in and will bring her the same drugs she was being treated for. You understand? Even though they say make they no come, they go still force themselves come, still bring the same drugs wey be say the doctor say make they no take or make she no take. You understand? Instead of helping her recover, they encourage her addiction and completely frustrated the effort of the doctor and therapist working with her. You understand? This set of people, they say instead of them to help Regina, they still dey make the case worsen for her. They still dey force their way, they bring all this substance inside for her to take, which is very wrong. This particular one no make sense. It is important to note that Lawrence, Sammy, his girlfriend NK, Destiny, Sonia, and others also took the same drugs as Regina. In fact, Lawrence and Sammy were the ones who first introduced and supplied those drugs to her. You see am so? Say these people wey be say they bring this thing come, say they take this thing too. And Sammy and Lawrence were people who introduced Regina to this particular, substance. They were deeply involved in the habit themselves, and rather than helping her get better, they kept drawing her back into the same destructive lifestyle. I do not drink alcohol nor smoke. In fact, I am a vegetarian. So I found this character and behavior reprehensible and totally unacceptable. Just few weeks ago, I woke up around 4 a.m. and realized that Regina was in my room and on the phone. She was clearly high, and she knows that I do not want her in my room in that condition. He said when he woke up around 4 a.m., he saw Regina in his room and she was high. Let's proceed. I asked her to go to her room and she told me that Sammy's girlfriend was in her room. But Sammy, you overdo o. Carry your own girlfriend go there for person house, your in-law house. Now making the place so uncomfortable for him. How can you do that? So what happened to your own house? Why your girlfriend no dey for your house? I was alarmed and angry because that girl should never have been in my house, let alone around Regina, since she is one of the enabler who constantly bring her the substance she's addicted to. I told Regina that the girl had to leave, and one of my driver dropped her off. 30 minutes later, Sammy came to my house shouting and demanding that I come downstairs to face him. He said I had no right to ask his girlfriend to leave my house for person house. So you go to challenge the man, say you no wan make your own girlfriend leave im house. Na your own house. Sure. He was ranting and threatening, waking up everyone, including the children. I eventually went downstairs and had to instruct the security to physically push him out of my compound. The level of audacity was shocking. Without the influence of drugs, could he have been so bold and disrespectful? Na question wey dey ask everybody. Say these things where these guys they take, they give them morale, they make their morale dey high. They talk to people anyhow. They do things anyhow. Without those things wey be say they take, whether they go get that morale. They did not stop there. On several occasions, they verbally assaulted and intimidated the police officers stationed at the house for security. You see am so. Say those security wey be say dey position for house, wey dey secure the house, they verbally, assault them. You understand? The officers were simply following the instruction to restrict access to the sake of Regina recovery. Say those officers, there's a standing instruction now that they should not allow them or anybody that is close to her to come close to her. But when they go still force their way inside. You understand? But Sammy and his group will insult and threaten them. You understand? See, Sammy and his group, that's those associates, will go there and threaten the police. And they will allow them now because now in-law thing. When Regina wanted to go out and I was not around, she would become extremely hostage towards the police and domestic staff. She would shout, threaten, and use abusive words, insisting that she must leave the house no matter what. Say anytime wey be say she wan leave the house, she go dey threa ten, go dey put pressure, she must comot. She go comot no matter wetin dey tell am. Say nobody go hold am, say she go go. There was at least two serious incidents where she left home in the evening and did not return until the next day. The first incident, she returned in the morning around 9 a.m. When I asked where she had been all night, she casually said she was at the nightclub. When I questioned why she would stay at night, ignoring my calls and refusing to answer messages, her response was, "You are not my father, so don't ask me where I was." I found out she was with a Cassie, and that Cassie was staying in Regina's house in Lifecam. Cassie is the chemist and supplier of the group. I had to go to Lifecam at 6 p.m. to ask her to leave. With her around Regina, the therapy became a joke. On another occasion, on the kid's birthday to be precise, I returned home with the kid because Regina said she would stay with her Nollywood friends for a dinner. She didn't return until 5 p.m. the next day. I took so much nonsense just for the sake of the kid. Also knew that drugs had a lot to do. As to her reason for continuing with drugs, she will always say, just like her mom, that it's celebrity lifestyle. They will also mention two well-known pop stars. Imagine the pain of a husband trying to help his wife recover, only to have the process sabotaged by her siblings and friends, the very people who should have been supporting her healing. This pattern of behavior made it almost impossible for her to recover. Each time progress was made, They will undo it by smuggling in the same drugs she was fighting to give up. This entire household live in tension and fear because of their constant harassment, interference, and disregard for boundaries. It will be interesting to know the reason for the violent behavior in the house the day that Sammy and other siblings came and attacked my staff and security, taking Regina away after doing a video which they posted the next day. Why did they do that video? Why did they post it? A simple plan, a script in my absence, regardless of the fact that my kids were there. They took away many things from my house, including one of my phones, money, and many other items. Everything that happened that day was in my house, in my absence. Nobody was beaten, and nobody could have contemplated that. It is blatantly false to say that I sent thugs to beat Regina in another house. The video that went viral was filmed entirely in front of my house by Regina's sister and her friends. It was clear Nollywood scenario in front of my property in my absence. Sammy should have a life of his own outside of Regina and focus on building his career independently. When his brother Lawrence went to London a couple of years ago to do his master's degree, I personally sponsored him with $75,000 for tuition and upkeep. He no tell us this one when they say na 50k, who send who 50k. I sent him abroad partly to help him escape the toxic environment of drug exposure and bad influence around them at the time. Out of fairness, I offered Sammy the same opportunity, but he declined, insisting that he wanted to remain in Nigeria to pursue his music career. Unfortunately, he has since been arrested several times by both police and the EFCC. His behavior has become increasingly violent and unstable. What he needs now is total rehabilitation and professional guidance. Otherwise, his aggression and self-destructive tendency will only worsen. According to the report now wey im give you, no be me talk am o, na Nwoko post that thing on his page. He say doctor, health professional told him that Regina should stay off her enablers, relatives, friends, brothers for the meantime so that she can recover. But no, those people kept coming to see Regina virtually every time. Uninvited, they no invite them, they come. And there was a day Regina even come to his room. Say she don't take something. Say, and she categorically knows that he doesn't like a thing like that. He doesn't like when person high make she come his room. She go the room, go there. Now the man say, pursue and say, go your room. And she told the man that his brother's girlfriend is in her room. Come on now, does it make sense? Be the judge for yourself now. Leave emotion, leave sentiment aside. Be the judge for yourself. Because Nigerians, we are always so emotional. When somebody come and cry, we will leave the real truth inside. You see, and so that is why it's good to hear from the both party. If anything happen, you don't have to listen to one-sided. Don't be a one-sided person. Don't be biased. Okay, listen to the both parties and listen to the scenario or whatever that transpired between them, and then you can now draw your conclusion.